Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. Euro dollar system collapse. We're going to show you how it will happen. We're also going to show you the gamesmanship going on in the United States right now while it's happening. And I think in part, we're even going to show you the new system that will replace it. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen and everything we're talking about here today. I want to let you know, I just sat down and had a great conversation with Mark Robson, the CEO of Eminence Casino Coin. Wow, what a conversation. Look for that over the weekend. I will be releasing it. It is an exclusive interview and it is a great conversation, and you will be blown away by what he says before we finish talking. I'm telling you. Okay, now let's get into this. It is a $2.132 trillion market cap. It is April 1st today, 2022, ladies and gentlemen. 2.25%. We're up on the crypto market right now. 46,300 plus Bitcoin and 3,400 plus right now for Ethereum. XRP slipped to the number 7 spot. It's 82 cents. Let's take a look at the range of price. We see right now we're coming in at 81 cents on the bottom and 83 cents on the top. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's get into it. Link 2, ladies and gentlemen. It's our last day of Ripple week. Come on in. Link 2 is giving back $500 in Link 2 bucks for every investment into Ripple and one entry into our raffle for a $10,000 vacation. Yeah. Can you say Cabo, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, I want to go down and party with Sammy Hagar. Make sure you're not messing around. If you're not registered with Link 2, go do it. Link2.com, private investing made simple. Link underneath the video. Right now, we're going to talk about this, getting into all of this first, which is if you're going to invest in projects, whether it's the protocols themselves or products on top that are built on top, decentralized apps, know what's going on with gas fees, because gas fees, as far as I'm concerned, are a truth teller. And you see right here, $41 plus for Ethereum. Know what you hold, ladies and gentlemen. I know a lot of people are knee-jerking right now and going, but layer two, they don't have those fees. I get it. But why would you build on something that defunct? I don't know. I just don't know. But here we start right here, because this is a promising area. And as I told you, as the crypto space matures and we get clarity, and Ripple IPOs, and they go on to get clarity as well, I am going to be covering more and more the metaverse, DeFi, private equity, and NFTs and things of that nature, where as the space grows, so shall we. And here you see Citibank says the metaverse is potentially an $8 to $13 trillion opportunity. Yeah, you can bet your bottom dollar I will be analyzing the companies coming out of that space into what I can invest in. And not financial advice. If this is not your thing, don't do it, but look at it for yourself. When I see that much growth potential, I understand that it's about really picking the best ones that you possibly can with the information you have at the time, and continually analyzing that information and data as it comes in, and putting yourself and your money in front of a growth industry. That's what I'm excited about. Right here, we see the ECB, European Central Bank executive, propose acceptance of CBDCs in physical stores. As you know, here in the United States, certainly at my house, that's a no-go for me. I don't want to have an account directly with the Federal Reserve, and I don't want the Federal Reserve knowing what I'm doing with my digital dollars. And not that I'm doing anything nefarious. I just don't want that, because I'm an American, and I want to have the same freedoms that I have with my paper cash. We'll see if we're able to hold on to it. But right here is some disparaging news when it comes to the current situation of the economies, and especially here at home. U.S. corporate debt issuance surged to its highest monthly volume on record at any time except during the pandemic liquidity crunch in early 2020. But check this out. Gold Telegraph says we have seen the worst quarter for treasuries on record. Stocks have had their worst quarter in 2 years, and now corporate debt issuance is surging. Dear Federal Reserve, good luck. You know, they're really pointing to that entire collapse that is being talked about, whether it's American investor Jim Rogers, Jim Rickards, economist, right? Or many, many others that have talked about it, or Kristalina Georgieva calling for a new Bretton Woods moment, which it means by the, you know, here's the big secret of the day here. That is code word for new global reserve currency, because that's where the US dollar was crowned the global reserve currency in the first original Bretton Woods. So calling for a new Bretton Woods moment is quite an eye-opener here. But understanding the backdrop of how bad things are, I showed this yesterday and I want to show it again briefly because I'm going to take you through some information here. But remember, the Bank of England back in the day, back in 1694, right, was established there as a private institution with the power to raise money for the government by issuing bonds. That's what they did coming out of the war. They issued bonds to rebuild the entire region. Now, take a look at this. This is Dr. Pippa Malmgren, who is really the daughter of an advisor from President Nixon's era. And she's going to break down some clips here, and I'm going to take these clips, just little intermittent clips out of here so you can get a feel for what is coming by her own estimation. Take a listen here.
LinkedIn, where I said, you got to understand, if the size of your debt problem is so big that it can't be paid off, and in fact, even inflation, which is the usual way you would seek to default on your debt slowly over time, you can't get enough inflation generated, then there is one further option, and that is you literally abandon the entire system of money and accounting. And I know that sounds unbelievably radical, but we've seen it happen before. And I explained the example of Britain in 1834.
And this is exactly what I just showed you, is that how Britain back in the day, really 1844, right, they were able to issue these banknotes to rebuild, right? That's what they did. So, you know, she's talking a real game here, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm not done. So let me take you to the next spot here that you need to hear, which is right about here. Check it out.
These little wooden sticks. Anyway, bottom line was, why would you abandon a system that's worked perfectly beautifully for 1,000 years? And the answer is, you had 200 years of war debts that had accumulated. They were unable to get inflation up enough without causing social unrest. And so the government said, hey, let's actually take the tally sticks back and give people this great new innovation called paper money. Now,
and that's where we are today, right? We went from these wooden tally sticks, which is where the term tally up the total, right, come from. And we have gotten to a paper market. Paper dollars is what she's referencing there. So now let's take you to the other spot I want to take you to here, which is right about here. Check this spot out.
And in its place, we adopted what we now use, which is a piece of paper we call cash. Now today, we're on the brink of a similar step change. And the way you'll do it is you're going to move to electronic money in conjunction with blockchain. Blockchain is the new ledger and e-money is the new currency. The question is, whose e-money?
And that is the question. And I think today I'm going to show you that it is, in fact, XRP Ledger and the USD coin by Circle. Check it out. Now, before we get into that, I want to just highlight very quickly here the gamesmanship that is going on in Congress and with the SEC to not address this issue, right? The lack of backbone by Congress. Now, I'm not speaking about Bill H. here specifically. In fact, he makes an excellent comment here about the SEC that we all need to be aware of in here. Let me get it. Here it is right here. Check it out.
Time and time again, subcommittee and Democrat leadership have chosen to focus on issues that fail to shine a light on the SEC and their chairman, who is embarking on an aggressive rulemaking agenda. And it's absolutely accurate. Now, he's referencing other issues in that particular 2 minutes, but it is pertinent to crypto as well. We all know this, right? So, while this very real economic collapse is taking place, and you're going to see more evidence of it here in just a second, we know that we have real damage done just in the XRP community.
I asked Warren Davidson, how many voters in your district have been harmed by the SEC and your unwillingness to call for an investigation like this gentleman? Digital Asset Investor is asking everybody, and I am along with him, and I told him I would. You know, anyone who wants to make a video, no bad words, right? No disrespect, no threats, but just an honest minute to minute and a half of your story of how you and your family have been harmed by the SEC intervening into your investment and your space. Check it out.
Good morning, XRP community. My name is Leon. I currently live in Puerto Rico. I started investing in crypto in 2019. The first crypto I heard was about XRP. I started doing research on Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and other cryptos. I started investing, but my main crypto was XRP. I just saw a lot of potential in the crypto. Did not know anything about Ripple. Didn't even.
There you have it. Did not know anything about Ripple. He goes on to explain how he's been crippled by the SEC's really dereliction of duty for the first 8 years, and then now coming out this far behind and really damaging all of us. Now, this just goes to highlight the problem that we're having, and this highlights it even more. This is a Meet the Press sitting down with Cynthia Lummis, Senator Cynthia Lummis, and I tell you, this is a real problem because they're talking about, is crypto a bubble? Take a listen here.
One of the fears that you hear a lot right now is this idea, is Bitcoin in particular, but perhaps Bitcoin, all of the coins that have been traded these days, is this the credit default swap of this decade? Meaning the way the housing market and the derivative trading mechanism of taking these loans, putting them all in a package and doing it, which is not what Bitcoin is, but I can see why people want to compare it. If there is suddenly a collapse, that it could actually drag us into recession because of how big this industry is.
Before she answers, and listen to what he is setting up here and understand this. We have the worst quarter for treasuries on record. Stocks have had their worst quarter in 2 years. Now corporate debt issuance is surging. But this gentleman is setting the stage. Is crypto the problem?
And how volatile it is. Do you accept that fear?
Yet another reason why Senator Gillibrand and I want to create this regulatory framework, because by giving the SEC additional regulatory authority and additional disclosure authority, requiring when these assets are bundled in ways that make them look like securities.
So let's get it straight right here. So now she wants to give Bitcoin and the SEC more framework and regulation and more jurisdictional power grab to do so. What happened to the Bitcoin is anti-establishment, anti-banks. What happened, everyone? Where's your sellout t-shirt? Senator Lummis? It's decentralized, it's anti-government, it's anti-establishment, it's money, it's digital gold, but we want to see it regulated. I'll tell you something, these people are some of the most misleading, if not directly dishonest people you're ever going to run into. That is for sure. That's about as polite as I can keep it on this day. But we move forward because here's more highlighting that the SEC is really, really gumming up the whole shooting match. And again, keep the backdrop here, ladies and gentlemen. We are witnessing the euro-dollar system collapse, and I'm not done with that point. Believe me, this is Stuart Alderati. Ripple legal team says the commission has refused, despite many pleas over many years, to provide regulatory guidance about how rules apply to crypto assets. Some of the responsibility for the lack of legal and regulatory clarity lies at our doorstep. And it says right here, this is Hester Peirce really calling out the SEC once again, right? And why is it so important? It's so important because of the fact that we know that crypto and distributed ledger technology, blockchain, is all going to be a part of the new financial system, the new accounting system for the world, head to toe. There is no in between, just like no one's not on the internet these days, right? And if you are, you truly are outside of the current world we're living in. There's no question. Now take a look here. This is Wrath O'Connor here, who reminds us all. He says, recently, Ripple board member Sandy O'Connor became a BNY Mellon board member also. Almost exactly a year to the date after Ripple, she currently serves on both boards and Terex. So this is a real key signal to me because, remember this? This was back March 16th, just a couple weeks ago, when David Schwartz said XRP Ledger Decentralized Exchange now supports the USDC USDT. Well, this is important because you're talking about two of the largest ERC20 tokens, period, now compatible and interoperable with the XRP Ledger Decentralized Exchange. Well, what's interesting about that is that we know one of the oldest banks, BNY Mellon, becomes the custodian for the USD coin reserve. So now we have the traditional banking system, BNY Mellon, which is a Ripple partner, right, becomes the custodian for USD coin, which is backed by Circle and Goldman Sachs to do the reserves. I'm telling you, I have said it for many, many months now. I believe that the USD coin is the official, unofficial U.S. retail digital dollar. And that's not an April Fool's. Don't believe it. It's still true. And I think this connection between the ledger, which is a decentralized exchange to on and off ramp the paper friction world to digital into the rest of everything, whether it's crypto or anything that is digitized and tokenized, right? This, I believe, is a picture into what the United States is setting up and preparing to go to, at least in part. And I look at this too from XRP Crypto Wolf. Ripple is hiring an applied scientist. Why is that a big deal? It's a big deal because they're delivering this vision is a challenge of massive scale, spanning $155 trillion in annual cross-border fiat payments and the $1.5 trillion market cap of the digital asset space, which has grown 10 times in the last year. Are you seeing what's going on? The ledger, the USD coin, the custody at BNY Mellon. It seems like the U.S. is setting up the protocol they want to use, the private relationship with the public side that they want to do for the digital dollar itself. And they're looking for an applied scientist to continue to scale to solve the problem here for $155 trillion in cross-border. That's what Ripple's hiring for right now. And I believe it's because, just like Dr. Pippa Malmgren said, I believe it's because they are going to abandon the old system because that's how bad it is. That's what I believe on this day. And when you look at this thread, I think it even brings further home the idea of the euro-dollar system collapse that is being exacerbated with the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Take a look at this from Linda P. Jones. The article is, Russia demands natural gas payments in rubles, leaves a loophole. So in other words, G7 countries are saying that the contracts can't be altered and they're able to pay in their euros or dollars. But listen to what Linda lays out here. She says, I could foresee a scenario where Russia stops delivering gas because Russia refuses to accept unfriendly currencies, a la the euro and the dollar, and demands rubles. The contract states payment is to be paid in euros and dollars. Putin is firm on this. It says right here, to be clear, the US and EU want to pay in their currencies and Russia wants rubles. They are at an impasse. Arbitration would take months. According to articles, creates a problem. However, they could pass crypto laws faster than planned, now instead of 180 days, so they can publicly use the XRP Ledger, which would allow for G7 countries to pay in euro dollars and Russia to receive in rubles. Solution. With the gas shortages and food shortages on the horizon, time is of the essence. We must solve this problem now. Get those bills fast-tracked, Congress. XRP Ledger is the solution that bridges the legacy system SWIFT and is the green energy as mentioned in the executive order. Well said to Linda P. Jones, and that's where I'm going to put it right there. Happy Friday, everybody. Make sure you check out all the links underneath the video. Hit that like and subscribe, share with somebody you know. I'll catch all of you on the next one.